Hello Intérieur UK, I'm Rachel Usher from Rachel Usher Interior Design and welcome to my Yorkshire project. Our clients approached us and they asked us to review the ground floor space of their home to maximise the architecture of this beautiful home and bring in more light, open up the apertures and create a better functionality of the space because some of the areas were not well utilised. Previously our client's home had a strong colour palette and the clients found that this dated for them a little quickly. So this time we approached the scheme with a more monochromatic palette, something that would be more timeless and easy to live with. Previously, our client's entranceway was a little narrow. We also felt that the scale of the property and the scale of the previous front door didn't quite align. So we designed this beautiful large pivot door, which brings in lots of light, but also it gives you that real sense of grandeur when you're coming home. We knew that this family had children and storage was also an issue, so we opened up the entranceway and brought from the other side of a wall storage, building in these beautiful cupboards so that all the family's coats and shoes can be stored out of sight but still, give that very clean aesthetic. As you come into the hallway, previously there was a smaller door here. We proposed opening it up into this large double door crittle style opening so that when you come home you can see straight through to your kitchen, which is the heart of your home. One of the other things that we think is really important is the use of lighting, and lighting almost as sculpture and art. As you arrived into this home, previously a more traditional light fitting occupied this space, and we felt that given that there is a landing that views down into this hallway, having a tiered lighting system that also filled the void without being heavy, we chose a petit friture, and it creates this beautiful soft movement just as it floats in the space, and it's not too dominant, but it creates its own installation. Artwork is very personal to clients, however I do think that it's something that adds strong visual interest, and so we commissioned this beautiful piece of art for our clients with all these tiny little ceramic slices which fills this wall but also anchors the colour palette a little bit. We complemented it on the other side with some smaller, similar aesthetic prints. So this is my favourite room in the whole home because it is such a beautiful family kitchen that connects to all the adjoining spaces. We know that this is going to be a kitchen that will stand up to use, so we chose decked on worktops that are really robust and concealed lots of cabinetry behind this fluted timber with touch closed doors. Previously the clients had a breakfasting station here, and we designed these beautiful screens that open up into a walk-in pantry, and when closed you just get to see the soft light that exists behind. One of the things that's important to any space is decorative lighting. So here we have task lighting with the track lighting system, but also we have this amazing dewdrop pendant. It really creates a visual anchor. When you're stood in the hallway looking through into the kitchen, this dramatic light installation is a real breathtaking moment. Really large integrated appliances mean that the clients have a really functional kitchen, but also things are very discreet and very contemporary, hidden from view. We have the Gaggenau integrated induction hob and gas ring at the side with all of the controls on the face of the cabinetry, again giving the kitchen a really contemporary feel. And then we have the triple ovens and warming drawer and lots of storage space as well for our client's family. We wanted to make sure that the kitchen felt really light and warm, so we introduced soft caramel tones that are not overpowering and will be classic and timeless in the bar stool and the worktop, and continuing the beautiful fluted timber that is over at the cupboards. We wrapped it all the way around the island to give that visual texture and that warmth and interest all the way around. having a lounge sitting space with a large screen TV and somewhere to put your feet up while people are in the kitchen cooking it's all about keeping the family together and not making people have to go sit in separate spaces, but equally zoning spaces so that they don't feel too commercial and open plan. Previously, this column wall had been a limestone wall, completely solid all the way to the end, and so we opened that up, applied a textured plaster that just catches the light on an evening, and had a view through fire so that on a winter's evening you can have that glow and still be connected to the dining area on the other side. One of the things that we really pride ourselves upon is the layering of textures. I think that's really important to make a home feel tactile and warm, and so even down to the rug, which is a handmade wool rug, and having lots of tactile textures on all of the soft furnishings and bringing some differentiation. So we have contrasting timber with metal details in set, and then beautiful throws that again have got real visual interest and you're encouraged to touch them. When it comes to the displaying of shelving and accessories, it's always worth thinking about your accessories as a collective and how they would sit together, balancing off one another really. So here we've chosen things that have got a sculptural form, but we've kept the colour palette really very neutral to complement the space. We introduced these large woven pots into the area to the rear of the sitting space because it stops the space from feeling just like a walk-through space, and they're really light. It's another element of texture, and I just feel like they really give the space a slightly Mediterranean feel. We were mindful that the clients didn't have a designated dining space, and yet still having a dining space without the formality of a dining room was something that we wanted to introduce. Previously, this space had really been an overlooked space and performed little more than somewhere to walk through. So we identified this as a great opportunity to include a beautiful dining table with a really interesting top with lots of natural movement and texture, beautiful chairs, again using all of that texture. It's a really light space to sit and enjoy a meal and feels connected to the rest of the space. We chose this shelving because of the fact that it had these beautiful details, this nice chamfered edge, and it really gave a little bit of architectural structure and interest to what would otherwise be a really large open plan space, and it helps create a little bit of division. This leads us into this area here, and we have this gorgeous architectural staircase that's a feature of the space, and we felt that this had its own purpose. These doors open out onto the garden, and so we thought that we would introduce a place for our clients to sit and enjoy a coffee and have those doors wide open in the summer months to the side garden. We specified these large architectural wall lights so that they give a beautiful wash of light back onto the limestone. The limestone is a really important feature of this building, so we wanted to highlight it in parts, and we thought that that was the really beautiful spot to do it. In this space, it was important to keep the palette connected, but also to continue to work with textures. And so we specified this really beautiful circular handmade rug, which has got a really interesting stitching detail, and a nice curved sofa with the coffee table, so that the space isn't geometric. It's got, some organic shape to it, which I think really helps feel a little bit more casual and natural. And we used the really large petite friture floor lamp to anchor the space. Our clients already had a really fun entertainment space in this zone. However, the door was a little small for the architecture, and so we opened it up and we sleeved the reveal with this dark timber, giving a real imposing sense to the space. So going into the entertainment room, we completely designed this space. Previously there was a mezzanine floor and it was underutilised. And so we felt that one of the features of this beautiful space was the volume and the high ceilings. And so part of our design was to introduce this timber cladding to the ceiling and keep the real imposing monochromatic colour palette really strong on the side walls. When we were looking for the furniture for this space, we spent a lot of time considering different options to make sure that the seating was quite dynamic and allowed people to sit at different sides and have different points of social engagement. And so we chose this beautiful curved sofa that allows you to turn them onto themselves and have this kind of S shape. We chose a darker countertop to give that little bit of a more moody evening atmospheric palette in here. And we wanted to make sure that the tones of the materials work with the space next door because it's all visually connected. Introducing really dramatic, large pendant lights that are hung like a sculpture and an installation is that moment of wow when you walk into a space, and they really are scaled proportionately so that they take up some space and really look like a piece of art. When we were designing this space, one of the things we wanted to do was maximise those windows, increase those apertures, and so these windows all glide back into a stack, revealing a really large opening so that if you're having a party that's outdoors, it really does become one with the garden, and the light that comes in is amazing. When designing a space, quite often we look to achieve balance and symmetry. And so at the other end of the bar, we have the screen with the cupboard, and at this end of the bar, we have a similar screen, only this one gives access to a gym. So our clients love to exercise, and it was a really important consideration that they had a custom home gym. We introduced a large window, which feels like it belongs to the windows in the entertainment space, but it allows our clients to exercise with these beautiful views of their garden and also have a really light and airy space. When we were designing this space, it was really important that we considered storage for our clients. They have lots of gym equipment and things that they wanted to keep in here without the space feeling cluttered. So we carried the timber detail through on all the walls and the ceiling, and also we kept the timber the same for all of the cabinetry in here. In a gym, it's a different approach with lighting. There isn't an opportunity for a hero chandelier. Instead, you need to consider having something that's more discreet, but also highlights the architecture, but it also offers task lighting as well. So here we introduced an LED light strip within the joinery, LED wash in the ceiling, and track lighting as per in the bar. I think one of the things that we're likely to see as a continuing feature is artisanal crafted materials, woven textiles, beautiful surface textured finishes. They're more sustainable, there is less chemicals, they're better for the environment, and I hope they're here to stay. My number one tip when it comes to designing a space is understand the flow of activity that happens in a space before you start. Are there any pinch points that can be improved? Or are there any spaces that don't perform and that are underutilised? Rethinking the flow of activity within a space is the way that you will maximise the home that you live in. So you can find us at our website, which is rachelusherinteriordesign.com, or also on Instagram at Rachel Usher Interior Design, and you can keep up with all of our latest projects there. You can also find me at thebusinessofinteriors.co.uk and on Instagram at thebusinessofinteriors, where I inspire other interior designers and bring together a greater sense of community.